70 years, a number that once seemed so distant, has now arrived in the blink of an eye. Life's journey, once filled with vitality, brilliant plans, and boundless horizons, has brought me to this moment of profound reflection. There was a time when I looked at the world with wide-eyed optimism, imagining the endless possibilities that lay ahead. Youth felt like a boundless treasure, a river flowing endlessly with no shores in sight. But as the Buddha teaches, all things are impermanent, and this truth becomes clearer with every passing day. Time, which once felt infinite, now reveals its fleeting nature. It no longer stretches endlessly ahead, but feels like a precious resource slipping quietly through my hands. In my younger days, I hardly noticed its passage. Now, I marvel at how quickly it moves, as though reminding me of life's fragile beauty. Time does not merely take away youth. It transforms the way we see the world. Priorities shift, dreams evolve, and moments that once seemed mundane now feel priceless. Each passing day whispers subtle yet profound lessons about what truly matters in life. And as I've aged, I've realized something unexpected: the joy of stepping back. This retreat from the busyness of life is not an act of isolation, but a journey toward discovering inner peace. It is a chance to let go of the noise and distractions, to seek stillness, and to connect with the essence of what makes life meaningful. When I was younger, I thrived in the company of others. I was outgoing and eager to please, always surrounded by friends, family, and the constant hum of activity. I loved the feeling of being needed, the sense of purpose that came from helping others. My calendar was always full: parties, meetings, gatherings. The thought of being alone seemed almost unbearable, as if solitude were something to avoid. But over time, life began to teach me different lessons, quieter lessons about the nature of fulfillment. I began to see the wisdom in the Buddha's teaching of non-attachment. He often spoke of the suffering that arises from clinging, whether to people, possessions, or ideas. Slowly, I began to realize that my constant need to be surrounded by others was, in part, a way of clinging to an image of myself as indispensable, as someone who could not bear stillness. The question that had lingered in the background for so long finally came to the forefront. Am I living for what is truly meaningful, or am I caught up in distractions that only deplete me? This question, though simple, carried a weight that I could not ignore. It pushed me to examine my life with honesty and clarity, to see beyond the surface of my daily habits and routines. As I reflected, I began to notice something else. Some relationships, which had once brought me joy and energy, now felt like burdens. Conversations that once felt vibrant and engaging now seemed hollow, as if we were merely filling the silence with words. I found myself questioning the purpose of maintaining connections that no longer nourished my spirit. So I made a choice that was both difficult and liberating. I chose to let go, not out of bitterness, anger, or a desire to push others away, but from a place of wisdom. The Buddha taught that letting go is not about rejecting or abandoning. It is about creating space for peace and clarity. It is about releasing what no longer serves us, so that we can make room for what truly matters. This act of stepping back was not without its challenges. At first, it felt strange and uncomfortable, like stepping into an unfamiliar landscape. There were moments of doubt when I wondered if I was doing the right thing. But with time, I began to see the beauty in this choice. By letting go of relationships and activities that no longer align with my values, I found a new sense of freedom and lightness. In this space of simplicity, I discovered a profound truth. Happiness is not found in the number of people around you or the busyness of your schedule. It is found in the quality of the connections you keep and the depth of the moments you live. I learned to treasure the people who truly matter, the ones who bring warmth, understanding, and joy into my life. And as I stepped back, I also began to step inward. The stillness that once felt unsettling became a source of strength. In the quiet moments, I could hear my own thoughts more clearly. I could connect with the rhythms of nature, the gentle flow of time, and the quiet wisdom of my heart. Letting go is not a rejection of others, but an act of love. Love for oneself and for the people who truly enrich our lives. It is a way of honoring the preciousness of time, of recognizing that our energy is not infinite and must be spent wisely. Now, I see this journey of stepping back not as an end but as a beginning. It is the start of a deeper understanding of what it means to live authentically and fully. It is a chance to align my life with the teachings of the Buddha, to walk the path of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom. And so, I invite you to reflect on your own journey. Are you living for what is truly meaningful, or are you caught up in distractions that no longer serve you? Let us walk this path together, guided by the lessons of time and the teachings of the Buddha, toward a life of peace, purpose, and profound joy. Time, a gentle and harsh teacher. At 70, I have come to see time not as a cold and impartial measure, but as a gentle and wise companion walking alongside me. In the teachings of the Buddha, mindfulness of time is a gateway to deeper understanding and enlightenment. Time, like a compassionate guide, nudges us to pause, to breathe, and to savor the small joys that so often pass unnoticed. A quiet morning bathed in soft light, the comforting warmth of a cup of tea in hand, or the serene gaze of a loved one sharing a moment of connection. These small moments, once taken for granted, now reveal themselves as treasures beyond measure. Time whispers its lessons with tenderness, reminding me that in the simplest experiences lie the greatest joys. To truly live, we must slow down, open our hearts, and cherish what is before us. But time is not always gentle. Like a stern teacher, it confronts us with the realities we might prefer to ignore. It reminds us, often uncomfortably, that our days are finite and our choices matter. It urges us to reflect. Are we using our precious time wisely, or are we allowing it to slip away on pursuits that bring no real value or fulfillment? This dual nature of time, a kind mentor and an unyielding taskmaster, has become one of my greatest teachers. It has shown me that life is too brief to waste on things that do not nourish the soul or bring true peace. The Buddha's teaching on impermanence echoes through these reflections. Everything is fleeting, and thus every moment is an opportunity to live fully and meaningfully. Now, I strive to embrace time's wisdom. I allow its gentleness to soften my days, helping me find joy in the present moment. At the same time, I heed its harsher lessons, using them as motivation to align my life with what truly matters. In this balance, I've discovered a deeper sense of peace and purpose, one that only time, with all its complexities, could teach. Quality over quantity. In my younger years, I eagerly sought a wide circle of friends and connections, believing that the more people I surrounded myself with, the happier and more fulfilled I would be. I thought that a long list of relationships and constant social activity was a measure of success in life. But as time has passed, I have come to understand a deeper truth. Happiness is not found in numbers, but in the authenticity of our connections. The Buddha's teachings on relationships illuminate this wisdom. He taught that true connection is built on sincerity, trust, and compassion, not on superficiality or appearances. A single genuine relationship, a bond rooted in understanding and mutual care, is worth infinitely more than 1,000 acquaintances who only skim the surface of our lives. Now, at this stage of life, I treasure the few who bring light and warmth to my journey. These are the people who see me as I truly am, who accept my strengths and flaws without judgment. A heartfelt conversation with one true friend, filled with depth and meaning, carries far more value than hours of small talk at a crowded gathering. Over the years, I have learned to let go of relationships that drain my energy or offer little substance. This is not an act of rejection, but an embrace of what truly nourishes the soul. The Buddha reminds us that clinging to what is not meaningful only causes suffering. By choosing quality over quantity, I have found a richer, more peaceful way of being. In cherishing the few who remain close, I have discovered that it is not the number of connections that defines our happiness, but their depth. True friends are those who stand by us through life's highs and lows, who listen with an open heart and share their presence without conditions. These bonds are a source of strength and joy, a reminder that it is better to walk with a few who truly care than to wander lost in a crowd. This understanding has transformed the way I value relationships. I no longer seek to gather as many as possible, but to nurture those that matter. In this simplicity, I have found a profound sense of fulfillment, one that can only come from choosing depth over breadth, sincerity over pretense, and quality over quantity. The freedom of letting go. Living fully is not about holding on to everything, but learning the art of release. Over the years, I have come to understand the profound freedom that comes with letting go. As I've grown older, I've embraced the Buddha's wisdom of detachment, not as a way of rejecting life, but as a means of truly living it. Letting go is not an act of loss. It is an act of liberation. There was a time when I believed that saying yes to everyone and everything was a mark of kindness and strength. I would carry relationships that brought no joy, take on obligations that left me drained, and strive to meet the expectations of others at the cost of my own peace. But the Buddha reminds us that clinging to what no longer serves us creates suffering. Now, I have learned the power of saying no. It is not selfishness, as I once feared, but an expression of self-respect. Letting go of relationships that bring negativity or obligations that weigh heavily on the heart is a way of honoring the time and energy we have left. It is a recognition that our resources are finite and must be spent wisely on what truly matters. In practicing this freedom, I've discovered a lighter, more meaningful existence. My days are no longer consumed by the need to please everyone or the fear of disappointing others. Instead, I spend my time nurturing connections that bring joy, engaging in pursuits that inspire me, and embracing the quiet moments that bring me peace. The Buddha's teachings guide us to release attachments, not out of indifference, but out of compassion for ourselves and others. By letting go, we allow space for growth, for renewal, and for the things that truly bring meaning to our lives. We free ourselves from the burdens of resentment and obligation, and in doing so, we open the door to greater happiness and freedom. At this stage of life, I see letting go not as an end, but as a beginning. It is a way to reclaim the essence of who I am and to live authentically, without the weight of unnecessary expectations. In this freedom, I have found clarity, joy, and the strength to walk my path with purpose and peace. Finding myself through solitude. At 70, I've come to understand that stepping away from the clamor of life is not an act of loneliness, but a sacred opportunity to reconnect with myself. In a world that often glorifies busyness and noise, choosing solitude feels like a quiet rebellion, a return to the heart of what truly matters. The Buddha himself often sought the stillness of solitude to deepen his understanding of life, and in following this path, I have found my own truth. There was a time when I equated solitude with isolation, believing that to be alone was to be disconnected from the world. I sought the company of others, thinking that constant activity and engagement were the markers of a full life. But the more I immersed myself in the noise, the more distant I felt from my own inner voice. It was only when I allowed myself to step back from the world's distractions that I began to see the wisdom in the Buddha's teachings. Solitude is not a retreat from life, but an embrace of it, a space to reflect, to listen, and to truly see. In the quiet moments, I have found a profound sense of clarity. Happiness does not lie in chasing the world or fulfilling its endless demands, but in being at peace with oneself. Now, I treasure the stillness that solitude brings. It is in these moments that I can hear the gentle truths of my heart, free from the noise of expectations. A walk in nature, the rustling of leaves, the warmth of sunlight on my face. These simple experiences have become my teachers, reminding me of the beauty and interconnectedness of all things. Through solitude, I have discovered that life's greatest joys are not found in external achievements or validation, but in the quiet contentment of simply being. The Buddha's teachings remind us that the path to enlightenment is not out there in the world, but within ourselves. By turning inward, we uncover the peace that has always been there, waiting patiently beneath the surface. This journey into stillness has transformed the way I live. I no longer fear being alone, for I have come to see it as a gift, a time to nurture my spirit and realign with my values. In solitude, I am not disconnected from the world. Rather, I am deeply connected to its essence and my place within it. At this stage of life, I embrace the sacredness of solitude, not as an escape, but as a return to myself, to the present, and to the truths that make life meaningful. It is in this stillness that I have found my greatest freedom, my deepest joy, and my truest self. The gift of this moment. As I stand at the threshold of 70, I find myself looking back not with regret, but with a profound sense of gratitude. 70 is not an end, as I once imagined, but a beginning, a gateway to a deeper understanding of life. It is a chapter where the wisdom of experience meets the clarity of introspection. In this stage of life, I see each day not as something to be endured, but as a sacred opportunity to live authentically, to walk my path with mindfulness, and to discover meaning in the present moment. The Buddhist teachings remind us that every moment is a chance to awaken, no matter our age or circumstances. Awakening does not require dramatic change or great achievements. It begins in the simplest of ways, in the choice to pause, to breathe, and to embrace the life that is unfolding before us. The past is gone, the future is uncertain, but this moment, this precious, fleeting now, is a gift that holds the key to our freedom. Looking back on my journey, I see the many phases of life, the vigor and ambition of youth, the responsibilities and complexities of adulthood, and now, the simplicity and depth of elderhood. Each phase has its unique lessons, but this phase, more than any other, has taught me the value of presence. It has shown me that the truest riches are not found in the external world, but within the heart that learns to live fully in the here and now. At this age, I feel a freedom I never knew before. It is the freedom to let go of what no longer serves me, whether it be old habits, unfulfilling relationships, or the relentless need to meet others' expectations. This is not selfishness, but self-respect. It is an acknowledgement that time, though fleeting, is abundant when lived with intention. The Buddha teaches us to let go of attachment, not as a way to diminish life, but as a means to truly embrace it. By releasing the weight of what does not matter, we make room for what truly does. Each day, I find joy in the simplicity of life, a quiet morning filled with the soft light of dawn, the comforting ritual of a warm cup of tea, the laughter of loved ones, or even the solitude of my own company. These moments, which once seemed so ordinary, now shine with extraordinary beauty. They remind me that life's greatest treasures are not grand achievements, but the small, meaningful experiences that awaken our hearts. If these reflections resonate with you, I invite you to walk this journey with me. Let us seek meaning and peace together, no matter where we are in life. The Buddha's teachings are universal and timeless, offering guidance to all who wish to find their way. He reminds us that the path to freedom lies not in some distant place, but within ourselves, waiting to be discovered the moment we choose to live with intention. It is never too early or too late to begin. Whether you are in the spring of youth or the autumn of elderhood, each moment holds the possibility of awakening. Life is not measured by how much time we have left, but by how deeply we live the moments we are given. So let us cherish this moment, the only one we truly have. Let us embrace simplicity, release the burdens of the past, and step into the present with an open heart. In doing so, we honor the gift of life and the wisdom it brings. May this story inspire you to see the beauty in your own journey, to treasure the time you have, and to live each moment fully. Together, let us walk this path of mindfulness and purpose, knowing that every step, no matter how small, is a step toward peace and awakening. Thank you for taking the time to walk with me through these reflections. I hope that this journey has inspired you to embrace each moment, cherish your time, and live with mindfulness and intention. If these words resonate with you, don't forget to like this video, share it with others who may benefit from these teachings, and subscribe to the channel for more insights on living a meaningful, peaceful life. Click the notification bell to stay updated on future videos as we continue exploring the wisdom of life and the teachings of the Buddha. Remember, the path to peace and purpose begins within. Let's walk it together, wishing you all peace, happiness, and the joy of living fully. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.